welcome back to the Higher Paradigm YouTube channel and podcast. Today, we're going to talk about what the hell is going on in our country right now. The United States of America, the divided states of America. But we're going to talk about it through the lens of a spiritual perspective and how, in terms of a healing journey, we are in the chrysalis. We are in the dark night of the soul of transformation within our country. If you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, that's okay. Listen up. You're here for a reason. So trust that you're here for a reason. Maybe you're here because you are disheartened. You are scared of what is happening in this country. You're upset, heartbroken, hurt, angry. You are worried about the divide. You want to see us come together. Whatever it is, you're seeing what's happening in all the bills that are being passed and everything that Donald Trump is signing. But you're also seeing the response to all of it. And it feels scary. And it feels like, what the hell is going on? And where is our country going? And that fear of the unknown. This is going to make a lot of sense, hopefully, in the end. So when you're going through healing work and you're diving deep into the depths of your being, we can experience things like an ego death, which means that parts of you that have been keeping you safe or keeping you stuck or cycling a narrative or a story over and over again, you get to a point in your healing journey where that part of you is ready to die because you are integrating new belief systems, new ways of thought. But also, when we are doing the healing work, I am of the mind that we are getting into the body. It's not just doing mindset work, because that's only a fraction of the puzzle of healing. So if we are getting into the body and we're doing nervous system healing, root cause healing, inner child healing, subconscious healing, we are essentially recalibrating every cell in our body. But it also means that those cells are releasing energy that has been keeping us stuck, energetic, emotionally, a lot of just density. And when we release that density, it gives cells an opportunity to repattern or move around in our body and create new pathways so that each of these cells can take on new energy, new belief systems, new patterns. Dark night of the soul is, who am I? Like, what in the actual F is the point of all of this? And it's really bringing, I feel like, spiritual crisis. A spiritual crisis is okay. It's okay to have a spiritual crisis. The great purpose of things like an ego death or a spiritual crisis or a dark night of the soul is to up-level, is to learn, gain wisdom, do away with what no longer serves. It's not to stay stuck. That is not the point. So when we are going into the depths of ourselves and we're accessing these deep, yucky places, whether it be trauma from childhood or it's a perpetual story that has been on repeat for the majority of your life that you're ready to do away with, or it's conditioning that you've taken on in childhood through adulthood that you are ready to let go of. You're ready to end it. Or you're ready to let it, you're ready for it to stop driving the vehicle of your life. So you're going to do this inner work so that you can take back your power. And with the dark night of the soul, it's like clearing out the clutter, excavating all this heavy stuff that we're holding in our physical body so that we can access our spiritual body and reclaim or rediscover our soul operating at a soul level, or what our purpose is on this planet, or this realization and this recognition that this reality or this life is so much bigger than me. What I'm here to do is so much bigger than me. I am contributing to a collective. What is my soul really here to do? So what I believe is going on in our country right now is a dark night of the soul. We are in the chrysalis of change, starting as the caterpillar and ending up the butterfly. That in between time in the chrysalis, they become goo, they become yucky, they become gross. So our country is in the chrysalis right now. Also, you could, if that doesn't resonate for you, you could also throw in there that our country's in the abyss, especially if you feel uncomfortable with the unknown of where we are going. What is the purpose of everything that's happening right now? Recognizing that our country has been thrown into this abyss, and in the abyss is dark. It is the void. And if that interpretation doesn't work for you, you could also say that we are burning it all down, burning down the foundations of our society, of our reality, and what comes from the ashes of Phoenix. So we will rise. We are rising. It's up to us to rise. However you want to say it, recognize that what we are going through right now as a collective is a major up level. Even though it feels really uncomfortable, even though things are happening that maybe you don't quite understand, maybe you disagree with, maybe they're making you angry, whatever it is, that is okay. Allow yourself to feel your emotions. The only thing I encourage you not to do is project all of that onto others, into social media world where everybody and their mother has an opinion. Everybody, so many people are spewing right now. So many people are projecting. And the bottom line of projection and spewing and all of this is fear. A lot of people are very scared at where we're at and where we're going. And the thing is, we don't know where we're going ever. So to ever think that we could possibly know exactly what's going to happen from 1 minute to the next is out of touch. That's not true. You can assume that certain things, if you have plans, like say at the end of the week, you can assume that those plans are going to happen. But do you know? No, everything is unknown. Everything is part of God's plan. The way I'm perceiving what's going on in our country right now is that no matter what's happening, keep in mind somehow, some way that there is a divine orchestration at play. Even though it feels like, how could God be a part, or how could the divine or the universe be orchestrating something like this? Trust that somewhere inside of you, find it, that this is for our highest good, for your highest good. Another thing I want to encourage you to do on the topic of inner work is separate yourself when possible from the collective. So from social media, from watching mainstream media, from consuming in general, and take some time to really get clear and understand the way that you actually feel and what you actually believe and where your fear lies. If there is fear, what are you actually afraid of? And be willing to understand it, hold it with love. How can I contribute from a place of love? It is okay to share how you feel about something, of course. Speak your truth, but speak it from a place of love, a place of compassion, a place that isn't targeting somebody or a specific group. So this is something that little by little, piece by piece, the more of us that step away from the collective noise and the more we get clear on how we actually feel and where our fear lies and how we can bring more love into the fold, the more that frequency, that energy can contribute to the rising consciousness and the peace that can be expanded in the collective. There's a lot of shifts and changes happening, but there's also a lot of truths coming to the surface. There's a lot, if you're, especially watching not mainstream media, but if you're watching some of these political commentators on YouTube, for instance, they are uncovering some deeper truths. You will see that there is a lot that we have an opportunity to take back our power on. We have an opportunity to reclaim our sovereignty around. We have instilled so much faith and trust in our government, in our healthcare system, in Hollywood. And now the light is being cast on the truths of those different areas. And this can feel really scary to be like, oh my God, I've instilled all this trust and I thought it was this way and I've been like duped the whole time. Or you could perceive it as no way, denial. Or you could take from it gratitude and say, wow, I am so grateful that we are waking up and seeing the truth of this. You can admit how freaking scary that we have been manipulated and gaslit all these years, decades, but how freaking amazing that the truth is coming to light. So finding the gratitude in those dark places that are being illuminated, which again, if we parallel this to our own inner journey of healing, when we access those deep, ugly places, ugly truths within ourselves, we have an opportunity to say, oh my gosh, I deny this, and turn away from ourselves and continue to perpetuate and spin the same narratives we've been living by and abiding by for however long. We can be scared of ourselves. We could be scared of those parts of us and reject them. Therefore, again, they'll keep perpetuating the same narrative, the same problems. You'll keep behaving and replaying patterns over and over again. Or you could meet them with love and say, wow, thank you for showing yourself to me. And you're really not that scary. The fact that this is coming up, however it feels, and any emotion is okay around it, but doing something really healthy and constructive with that and being with those emotions and being with that part of yourself that you've illuminated and showing gratitude to it. And I do it through breath work most of the time. So I'm going to say like breathing, loving arms all around that part. And then essentially taking back your power and saying this, I am so grateful that this came to light, but no more. We're done with this story. We're done with this narrative. We're done gaslighting ourselves. We're done being gaslit. And also setting boundaries with your inner work. That is a huge component to building trust inside of yourself. So the same notion goes for what's going on in the world. What are you no longer available for? And this could be, I'm no longer available to engage in conversations on social media about politics. I'm no longer available for just giving all the power to my doctor and instilling wholehearted trust in everything that they say and everything they tell me to do. You could start little steps, one thing at a time. Setting boundaries is a practice, but it is the greatest form of self-love and love for others. So when we are starting to set boundaries, we're making a huge contribution to the collective. There are lots of us that are on this path of, I'm done, no more. I will not tolerate this anymore. I'm not available for this anymore. I'm ready for a new way. So you're not alone. And if you are feeling the density and the uncomfortability of everything that you're seeing going on, you can question what's happening without making it mean anything about you or your life. The minute that we start to feel consumed emotionally by the things that are going on that we're seeing on mainstream media or in social media or whatever, the more we're giving our power away to it. And although there are scary, uncomfortable, transformative things going on in our country right now, we are still unique individuals who have sovereignty. And the more we give our energy, our emotions to the things that are going on in our country, the less we're reclaiming our own power. Yes, all of these things you can admit however they feel for you. This is devastating. This pisses me off. This makes me fearful. But there can come a point where you recognize it's time to separate yourself so that you can be present in your current experience. Because again, while we see so much ugliness and madness and chaos on media, if we tune in to the world around us, what chaos is there actually? Paralleling this to doing the inner work, so often when we come from a chaotic past or we experience a lot of trauma or we have trauma in general that is unprocessed, when we come face to face with that trauma or that pain of the past or that uncomfortability inside of us, once we come through that uncomfortability or that pain or that trauma, what is underneath that is love and peace. So if we take a step away from what's going on in the world and return home to ourselves, to our own world, we may find that it's actually quite boring. And that's not bad. Boring is not bad. Boring is all love. Boring is not necessarily predictable, but it's at ease. And I think so many of us in this world are just so dysregulated in our nervous systems, and we're so used to being in this perpetual state of chaos and dysregulation and survival that when we come home and we're paying closer attention to our own world, it feels so boring and at ease that it's uncomfortable because we're so used to operating from chaos and survival. And that, I believe, is what is at play in mainstream media right now or on social media right now. There's so much dysregulation that I can see. Just so many people operating from wounded inner children, from pain, from trauma, unprocessed trauma. And it's really wild. As a healer and practitioner, I think it's wild. And I think it's, in one hand, it's unfortunate. But on the other hand, this is why we need to do more of this inner work and speaking up about truth. Because hopefully more and more people jump on board, and no matter what I share or what other people like myself share, it's planting seeds for the collective so that we can eventually get to a point where there's more of us who are finding peace and from within and finding peace within the chaos versus contributing to the chaos. So hopefully we will get there. It is really a bummer that we are in this divide. And I do pray that what's dividing us brings us together eventually. I pray that more people become willing to let their guard down and accept things for what they are in some ways. Of course, fight for what you believe in. I'm all about that. Standing up for what you believe in. But if I'm being honest, I feel like so many people are just trying to be part of the popular crowd and they don't really know what it is that they actually stand for. And that is the difference between just spewing and projecting versus constructive, critically thought out points of view and sharing values and beliefs. I do pray that more of our country comes to accept our administration right now for what it is. That does not mean that you don't stand up for what you believe in, that you don't stand behind what you value and trust and the things that you feel passionate about. That's not what I mean. I just mean there's a lot of noise and there's a lot of people just wanting to create noise and not actually implement any significant value to the shifts and the changes that are happening within our country. It is great to have healthy disagreements and healthy discussions about where we stand and what we believe in and what we value. And I think that it is possible for this to unite us. I just love when I'm able to have debates with someone and there's no hits below the belt. There's no, I hate you or I dislike you now because of what you believe and it's not what I believe. So much of my own life, and I can see that this is also a projection of how other people, or a mirror, I should say, a mirror for what other people have experienced in their own lives, is that if you don't agree with me, then you're bad and wrong. Then I will judge you. Then I will dislike you. I will disown you. I want nothing to do with you. I grew up in a household where my parents believed that us kids should believe everything that they believe and not question anything. And I also grew up with parents who would make it abundantly clear that if we disagree with their values, then I was actually told by my father, I do not like you as a person because I was questioning his values as a Catholic. And I got to tell you, this is what we're seeing going on right now is I don't like you as a person and I'm going to unfriend you on Facebook because you prefer raw milk over immunizations and they're not even the same thing. It's a little bit crazy. I literally have been unfriended and unfollowed and I welcome it. I'm here for it. If you do not agree with me in my point of view just triggers you so much that you have to leave the space that, that I am in, that is okay. Go ahead and leave. I send you love still, and I hope that you figure it out. I hope that you figure out whatever it is that I have triggered in you. But it's also just crazy to me that we are so fixated on our own selves and what we believe to be true or fixated on hating Trump that we are willing to sever relationships because of it. So, yeah, I definitely think there are multiple points of view that matter. Every point of view matters, actually. And there are multiple points of view that could offer value to us. We could really benefit from hearing other people's point of view. We could really benefit from having those discussions where one person has this particular side and we have the other, without it causing us to go on a downward spiral or causing us to sever ties with people or causing us to judge them and criticize them. This is the other thing I'm seeing so much right now is not just judgment and criticism, but also mocking and just really surface shallow mockery, making fun of somebody's style or making fun of the way the women on the right wear their makeup. And it's not doing anything for our people. It's not doing anything for us individually when we act this way, when we behave this way, when we project this way. It's not a good look. And yeah, again, operating from wounding, operating from what do you call it? Self-doubt or low self-esteem, and feeling uncomfortable with people that what I see is this particular person who's doing the mocking is uncomfortable and self-conscious about their own beliefs. They feel they have self-hate that they need to work through. Because if they feel like mocking somebody else is funny, and that's the whole point, is like they're trying to bring humor to TikTok by making fun of at the expense of other people and also spewing untruths, like totally putting in a box what a particular side of the bird, the right wing. It screams self-hatred to me. It screams, I need love. It screams, accept me, find me funny, please, see me. I need to be funny. I need to be accepted. I need other people to like this to make me feel better. But really, it won't. So that's what I see. So hopefully people can get their poop together and start looking in the mirror and seeing themselves for what they're doing, see who they truly are, but see also what facades they're bringing forth into the collective, and be willing to say enough is enough. You know what? I'm done operating like teenage girl and who's in the popular clique, and I'm ready to start actually getting to the root of the problem. That's how I feel about what's going on in the world right now, or in our world, in our country right now. I guess in the world too, because we are seeing things going on in other countries and all of that. My final thoughts are that we are on the precipice of significant positive change. And it is a matter of perception. You get to decide how you want to perceive the way things are rolling out, the way things are unfolding right now. Do you want to live in a world of suffering and hell? Because again, like I mentioned in my first episode, and I'm sure I'll mention it 1,000 times, we are here to create heaven on earth. And in order to, we have to be willing to perceive and experience our reality through a new lens and in a higher paradigm. So that means, how is this serving me? How is this not serving me? What boundaries am I ready to set? And what am I done with? And what do I no longer want to contribute to? And what is this showing me that's going on inside of me? These are all great ways to start shifting the way we perceive our world and be living in that higher paradigm and bringing heaven onto this planet. So It really is up to you. Individually, it takes one person to make a change and it ripple out into the minds and the hearts and the spirits of others. But it starts with you. This is a time of transformation. And there's always light after the darkness. There's always light in the reemergence. And find acceptance right now where we are in the void, in that dark night of the soul, in this ego death. I think it's all three. To be honest, we are experiencing all three, which they all basically are one and the same anyway. And yeah, be willing to bring something positive into this experience and find gratitude wherever you can. Okay, that is it for our second episode of the Higher Paradigm YouTube channel and podcast. I hope that you found value in everything that I shared. I hope that you take what resonates and leave behind the rest. And I hope that this guides you forward into and onto the path of love. Thank you for being here. Please, if you haven't already, like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share this with your people, whoever you feel needs to hear this, whoever you feel would benefit from this episode. Please follow on Spotify or Apple if you are listening. And I look forward to staying connected with you and building this like-minded community of higher thought and questioning everything. If you feel called, feel free to find me on social media. I'm on Instagram at Sacred Healing with _ Laura, Laura. I am on Facebook at Sacred Healing with Laura. And my personal page is Laura Potozniak. And you can find my website at the link in our show notes below and see what I have to offer as far as working together, going into some healing work, what different offerings I have available, my Sacred Rise mini course, which is to guide you into cultivating and creating a consistent and solid morning self-care practice for us mamas and mamas that are entrepreneurs that know you need to implement a whole self practice first thing in the morning before you can get on with the rest of your day and feel emotionally available, grounded, focused, and present for your kids, your family, and your clients. And if you are interested in doing some one-on-one work, diving in to your healing journey, you can find all of the information about those opportunities that I have available to you at the link below in my show notes that will guide you to my website. So again, thank you so much for being here. I am pumped to come back for our next episode, and much love to you. See you next time.